Hey everybody, I want to tell you about a trip to the farmer's market this weekend and what I got. The state of Virginia has just begun reopening slowly, cautiously. I'm not really comfortable going anywhere near a crowd yet, but the farmer's market seemed safe enough. It was very well organized. They had what seemed like an endless line because everyone in it was 6 feet apart, but everyone was wearing masks, so as people left, the line moved, and when there's 6 feet between people, it moves quickly. So it wasn't bad. So when I got to the farmer's market, I saw kind of an old friend. There's a woman that's been there for years who sells wild mushrooms. You look at some things like wild mushrooms, different kinds, and it can be a little intimidating. And one thing I try to do is double down on that. I don't want it to be intimidating, so I will buy it. And I'll come home and read about it and learn what to do. And sometimes it works out beautifully, and sometimes it doesn't. If you'd like an example of a time that it didn't, go on my blog and search Shad Roe, R-O-E. Supposedly a fabulous seasonal delicacy. I think you'll see from my blog, didn't really work out for me. So let's look at what I bought. I bought a group of mixed mushrooms today. And there's all different kinds, and we'll take a look in just a second at what we got. But there was another treat that I have always wanted to try. A really treasured, highly seasonal, highly regional dish from the higher elevations in the Appalachian Mountains. And they're called ramps. And so here we go. A ramp is technically a wild leek. Though it is never going to grow into something resembling what we think of as leeks. It has a pungent, garlicky, oniony flavor. You eat both the leaf and the bulb, and they are just about the end. They go kind of mid-May to the end of May. People forage them. They go all through the woods in the Appalachian Mountains and look for them. I'm going to use them today in place of garlic. I'm going to saute them up right here with these mushrooms. Basically, you're going to want them with any kind of a bland canvas. They'd be great in mashed potatoes. They'd be good in rice, pasta, anything that gives you a large bland canvas. But the other thing they're really good with is anything earthy, like these wild mushrooms. All right, so let's take a look at what we've got here. Start with these most common ones here. This is their typical white button mushroom. And then kind of their cousin here, baby bellas. They grow larger into portobello, but they're also known as the crimini mushroom, and just kind of a darker version of the white button. This one here is a shiitake mushroom. So this is the enoki mushroom, and they're really cute, a nice mild flavor, and they're really great for garnish on certain dishes. This is the wood ear mushroom. They have almost a rubbery texture and a nice flavor. I really like them. These yellow ones are chanterelle, and God, they just look beautiful, little yellow trumpets. And then finally, the oyster mushroom. If there's someone out there who knows and I've got it wrong, let me know. But I'm looking forward to trying these. I think they're going to be delicious, and we're going to do them all together. So I'm going to just take and chop these. I want them fairly irregular, but the important thing is I do want all the pieces in the bowl to be approximately the same size, just so that they cook evenly, and I don't have to worry about some being overcooked while others are just getting started. So I've got these chopped, just a nice mixture, and all approximately the same size. So now I'm going to take my ramps and I'm just going to cut. There's a little root end that I'll cut off, and then after that I'm just going to slice them just like a scallion. So I have these chopped up, and boy, it is fragrant. You can just smell almost smells a little bit like someone squeezed a little lemon juice over it, which makes me think that might be a good addition to this. But I'm getting kind of a garlicky, oniony mix, but it's also got a earthy, almost kind of grass fragrance to it. I'm just really excited. I think some of these mushrooms are going to tend to have a little bit of an anise, kind of licorice flavor to them. Together, they're just going to be a real feast from the woods. All right, so I've got the pan heating here on kind of a medium high. I don't need a screaming loud heat. I'm gonna give it a decent pat of butter, but I don't need a ton. Fine. So here is my ramps. Oh, the minute it hit that pan, I got blasted with a really fragrant waft of garlicky onion greens. It's just fabulous. So these are not going to need too much, but I'm going to season them, but I don't want to over season them. So I'm just going to use a little salt and pepper. I have this great salt that my wife brought me back from one of her trips, and it's salt flakes. So it's kind of coarse. It'll really show up nicely in the dish. And then just some fresh ground pepper. So already I'm just salivating. This just smells great. It's starting to look great. All right, and now I'm gonna add the mushrooms. And I'm gonna resist the urge to move them around a whole lot. I want them to brown a little bit, and I want them to actually cook a little bit. And if I keep moving them around, what they basically do is steam from the ramps. So I'm going to just let them sit a moment, and while I do that, I'm going to grab a lemon and cut it in half. At the tail end of this process, right when I'm done, I'm going to squeeze half a lemon over this. That will stop the cooking with the cold lemon juice, and it'll give it one extra bite that I think is just going to really work with this dish. All right, so these are done. As I said, I'm going to kill the heat. Now, if you've been watching my videos, you know one thing I struggle with is the seeds coming out of the lemon. They drive me nuts. I take forever. I had a Family Guy-like scene recently where I scooped seeds out forever. So now I'm just using this method here. All right, let's see how this goes. I'm going to try just the ramp first. Oh my God. It is fabulous. This is so good, I can't believe it. I wish you could smell this and taste this over the video. All right, let's try the mushrooms. A little mixture, so who knows what I'm getting in this bite. Oh my God. It's fantastic. Get all different textures and some different flavors, and getting some of the ramp, and the lemon juice really does its part. A really nice dish. Go find some wild mushrooms, saute them up, and give them a try. Got a good shot of me. Do I look good? I mean, given what I have to work with. Okay. All right. Good. Oh. I haven't told my family about this yet, but they have a reputation of staying with the body for a couple of days. The word would be pungent. There's going to be some telltale signs that people have been eating ramps. Perhaps a quarantine household, maybe not the best place to try it, but you know, it seems like a small price to pay for what is an annual delicacy. Man overboard. See you next week.